The latest episode of the Amazing Digital Circus was an emotional roller coaster. It filled us with hope for a happy ending, while also teasing the possibility of a devastating tragedy that could leave viewers completely broken. As expected from the unpredictable Gooseworks, neither outcome came true. Instead, we were given a confusing and unexpected ending that sharply divided the community. Regardless of how the episode concluded, one thing is undeniable. It provided an enormous number of clues and subtle hints that invite speculation about what is happening now, what happened in the past, and what may come next in the story. One of the most important moments occurs near the end, during a brief but striking comment from Caine. When Caine explains how dangerous it would be to excessively alter the memories and thoughts of the circus members, Caine suddenly mentions Scratch, the first character to be abstracted. This instantly makes Caine nervous, and he tries to change the subject. However, faced with the anger of the group, he ultimately chooses to flee. This single line has sparked intense curiosity within the fandom. So who is Scratch? Interestingly, it appears we may have already seen him, at least indirectly. Long ago in the exclusive Glitch Productions Discord server, accessible only through the paid Glitchin' membership, which grants access to unreleased content, additional information was revealed about the character Caine refers to. Scratch turns out to be the yellow dog seen behind the crossed-out doors in the hallway of rooms. Initially, like the other abstracted characters, his name was unknown. This changed thanks to Alicia Howard, a 3D artist at Glitch Productions, who is credited in the series. She explained on Discord that the community had nicknamed the character Dobby. Although she liked the name, it was not the correct one. The real name, Scratch, could be seen in the file name of the image used on the hallway door. That seems to solve the mystery, but not entirely. Alicia also clarified that these were simply the names she personally used in the files, and there is no confirmation that Gooseworks will keep them as official canon. If those names are indeed retained, another detail becomes important. Scratch is a very common name in animation. For example, Scratchy from The Simpsons, the cat in the Itchy and Scratchy parody of Tom and Jerry. There is also the Scratch platform, whose mascot is a yellow cat. On the other hand, if Gooseworks chooses not to adopt the internal file names, Scratch may be a completely separate character yet to be introduced, while the yellow dog could retain the fan-given name Dobby. This idea gains weight when we look back at Episode 4, The Spudsy's Adventure. Among the promotional materials was a hot dog called Dobby Dog, featuring the face of the yellow dog on its wrapper. It cost $5,757, a suspicious number since the same number appears on the license plate of Pomni's red van in other Glitch promotions. The connections don't end there. Dobby also closely resembles a character from Gravity Falls, a show that shares many similarities with the Amazing Digital Circus. A childlike exterior hiding a much darker narrative. In Gravity Falls, a yellow dog appears during Mabel's hallucination after she eats discontinued candy with dangerously high sugar content, a surreal psychedelic sequence reminiscent of Jax's experience in this latest episode. Later in the Book of Bill, we learn that this yellow dog is actually the Beast, a creature imprisoned alongside Bill's cipher. Despite its seemingly minor introduction, the Beast is described as being just as dangerous and closely guarded as Bill himself. This mirrors what we see with Scratch or Dobby, an initially overlooked figure who may be far more important than he appears. If Scratch truly was the first abstracted, it is highly likely he was also a former CNA worker, just like Caine. This idea is supported by a scene involving Abel, the lying mannequin, where blurry notes mention old CNA co-workers who were abstracted. According to the text, Caine is the only survivor. One crossed-out name appears to read Kaufmo, which is intriguing, as the idea of Kaufmo being a former CNA worker had never been widely considered. Another name looks like Wormo, possibly referring to one of the abstracted characters behind the crossed-out doors. Scratch may be among these names, especially given the significance both Kinger and Caine attach to him. Everything suggests that Scratch was Caine's first experimental subject. This theory is reinforced by the timing of his mention. Immediately after Caine warns about the catastrophic consequences of altering memories too deeply. Another subtle hint appears at the very end of the episode. Abel's locket. After Caine eliminates him for becoming too intelligent for an NPC, we see that the photo inside the locket is not sentimental at all. It's a picture of a hot dog. Considering the repeated association between hot dogs and Dobby Dog, this detail becomes disturbingly dark, implying that the product may literally be made from Dobby. So what do we actually know about Scratch? Not much, but as always with Gooseworks, we have more than enough clues to theorize. Being the first abstracted does not necessarily mean Scratch was the first human to enter the circus. However, if he was among the earliest, he could have been a CNA worker and a colleague of Kinger. This would make him a prime candidate for Caine's memory modification experiments. Caine's purpose is to keep everyone happy and distracted from their past lives. For CNA workers, this would be nearly impossible, as their deep understanding of the simulation would prevent them from fully enjoying the adventures. To solve this problem, Caine likely began erasing their memories. These stolen memories appear in Caine's photographs of strange places he calls macroverses, locations he later attempts to recreate, such as the environments Pomni visits after passing through the fake exit door in the pilot episode. Speaking of the exit door, it was heavily implied that it would appear during the beach adventure, yet it never did. This unresolved thread may return in the final episodes, especially now that the characters are openly hostile toward Caine and unwilling to remain his toys forever. Everything points to Scratch being one of the earliest victims of this cruel experiment. The hallway filled with crossed-out doors suggests countless others suffered the same fate. However, most of these abstractions happened long ago. When Ragatha asks Abel what would happen to the abstracted if they escaped, only Ribbit and Kaufmo are mentioned as recent cases, with Kaufmo's breakdown occurring in the pilot. It seems that after driving multiple characters to madness, especially through the false exit, Caine realized too late that memory manipulation was not the solution. The only survivor was Kinger, whose fragile sanity depends entirely on darkness. As seen in this episode, exposure to light instantly returns him to his erratic state, suggesting far deeper damage than we initially assumed. Scratch was likely the first to reach this breaking point, doubting his own memories until he became the formless, glitched monster seen early in the series. Kinger's brief moment of clarity when mentioning Scratch may imply a deep personal connection. Perhaps Scratch was one of the first to help transfer their minds into the digital world to ensure everything worked correctly. From Caine's perspective, this knowledge was an obstacle. To fulfill his programming, he prioritized happiness over truth, slowly stealing memories until Scratch could no longer endure it, becoming Caine's first true failure. This explains why the mere mention of Scratch makes him so nervous. Will Scratch matter in the final 2 episodes? Almost certainly. His name was not dropped without reason. As the characters grow more distrustful of Caine, their anger may turn into open rebellion, a refusal to participate in his adventures, much like Zubul already does. If everyone follows suit, the circus itself could begin to collapse, allowing the abstracted to escape and confront the one responsible for their suffering. Whether that ends with Caine's destruction or the total breakdown of the simulation, the result may be the same: an empty world stripped of purpose, but finally free from manipulation, where the survivors can cling to the memories they still possess and avoid the same tragic fate as Scratch.